Actually, my name is Kalas. So the today's topic is all about the sinusitis. So my today's topic is sinusitis. Before I am going to tell about the sinusitis, you all should know about the sinus. So there are four pairs of sinuses. There are four pairs of sinuses in the human sickle. See here, this is a sickle. In sickle, there are four pairs. One pair is here, that is called a frontal sinus. Okay, this is the frontal sinus. One right side, another left side. So this it is not visible. It is inside the sickle. There are sinuses. Other sinuses. Sinuses are the gap, the air cavities. The air cavities within the which are surrounding the nasal cavity. So you all know this is the nasal cavity here inside. Inside the nasal cavity, there are openings of four pairs of sinuses. The sinuses are air-filled cavities. Those air-filled cavities, one is for two pairs are there. They are called frontal sinuses. Two pairs are there. They are four actually, but very small. Those are called as ethmoid sinuses. Okay. So these are called as ethmoid sinuses, and then there are maxillary sinuses. Maxillary sinuses are here. Actually, this is not a complete word. This is called maxillary sinuses here. See. The maxilla bone here, one is on the right side and this is on the left side. These are called as frontal sinuses and these are called as ethmoid sinuses. And one more is here, that is called sphenoid sinuses. Here is the sphenoid sinus. See here the ear, behind the ear there is a sphenoid sinuses. Okay, so there are four pairs of sinuses. Actually, what is the first of all? We should know the function of sinuses. What is the function of the sinuses? Why Almighty has kept the sinuses within the human sickle? The first thing in sinuses is that they are producing the mucus. Production of mucus is that production of mucus. So production of mucus is the most important work that is done by the sinus. Okay, so this production of mucus, when it is coming from the four sinuses, it will come through nasal cavity. So it will keep a nasal cavity moist. So whenever a dust will enter, whenever the pathogen will enter, whether it is a virus, whether it is a pathogen, this mucus will help, mostly, particularly the dust, it will help, it will prevent from the entry of dust. Okay, but remember one thing, that this dust maybe can act as an allergen. I will tell you later. Remember, this mucus production, everything in body is normal. Everything of excess is not normal. There is a proper amount of mucus that is produced by these sinuses. I am going to tell. I told four sinuses. That I will not tell that in the detail because time is very less. So four sinuses I told. One is frontal sinuses, sphenoid sinuses, ethmoid sinuses, and maxillary sinuses. So they are the air cavities which are produced. So what will happen in case of sinusitis? You can see the name. Sinus means the cavity that is called sinus, and sinusitis. Itis means inflammation. Okay. So there is an inflammation of sinuses. So the inflammation of sinuses is called as sinusitis. So what are the signs? These are also called as paranasal sinuses. This sinusitis is also called as rhinosinusitis. Rhinosinusitis. Okay. So this is another name that is given for the sinusitis. So this is the definition for sinusitis. This simple definition is inflammation of sinuses, which are the air cavities present in the human sickle, which surrounds the nasal cavity and which are role in the production of mucus. I told first role only. There are other roles also. Suppose humidification is the role of sinuses. One more thing is, suppose it is also called as crumple zone. Crumple zone means if any accident will come, what will happen? The bones will compress each other. So when there is cavity, it will prevent any kind of severe trauma. So what will happen? These cavities will help any kind of more compression, the severe compression that may occur during any kind of trauma. So Almighty has kept the cavities within the sickle. So that is the second. These are the secondary benefits. There are one more benefits of resonance of the sound. The sound will come. There is an echo. The echo sound that comes is also because of the cavities. Those cavities are called as sinuses. Okay, so this is a definition. Then what we will say, the second thing is, after the definition, this is we call inflammation of sinuses called as sinusitis. After the definition, first we have told about the definition. You can write in your own words how I am telling them. But remember, after completing the class, I will definitely ask a question, and the question will not be like this. It will be a reasonable question. Only those students can answer the question who have understood the topic. Okay. So the second thing is that is called as cause. What is the cause for sinusitis? What are the causes which which cause sinusitis. Okay, so for those causes, in simple way, the most important cause is microbial infection. Microbial infection. Microbial infection is the first cause. In microbes, what occurs in the microbes? In microbes, there are viruses. Okay, there are bacteria. And there are fungi. Remember one thing, in case of viruses, there are many viruses. Suppose adenovirus is one virus. Adenovirus. Another virus is that is called as influenza virus. Okay. Rhinovirus is there. Rhinovirus, which is the main virus for common cold, you all know rhinitis. Rhinovirus. So these two viruses are main, adenovirus and rhinovirus. Second is bacteria. In case of bacteria, we all know there is Streptococcus pneumonia. Streptococcus pneumonia, one bacteria. Another bacteria is suppose Haemophilus influenza. These are the main bacteria which are responsible for the sinusitis. I will tell later in pathophysiology, it will be very clear what I will say, what they will do. And in fungi, mostly fungi is very less. But suppose if the patient is suffering from any kind of AIDS, any disease, suppose AIDS. In case of AIDS, the patient is immunologically deficient. The person is immunologically deficient. When the patient is immunologically deficient, that time there are high chance of fungal infection. There are high chance of fungal infection. In fungal infection, suppose there is one that is called Aspergillus. Aspergillus fungus. It is a fungi that causes sinusitis because it is mostly a secondary infection. Remember, sinusitis by means of fungi is a secondary infection mostly seen in case of those patients who are immunologically deficient. Who are the immunologically deficient? Those patients who are suffering from AIDS. So in case of AIDS, you would acquire immunodeficiency syndrome. So there is deficiency of the immune system. So this was all about the cause. There are other causes also. Suppose there is a nasal obstruction. There is a nasal obstruction, mostly in case of nasal septum deviation. If there is nasal septum deviation, that time also what will happen? That it will block the nasal cavity. When it blocks the nasal cavity, there are chances of sinusitis. In pathophysiology, I will tell the reason. Then this is a nasal septum deviation. There may be the formation of growth, the overgrowth, the abnormal growth. That is called as polyp. So the polyps is the abnormal growth that occurs within the nasal cavity. That will also cause obstruction of the nasal cavity and is also a main cause for the sinusitis. Now, this was the cause. After the cause, I will not go towards the clinical manifestation. First, I will tell the pathophysiology, because when you know the pathophysiology, then you can see, you itself can see what will be the cause, what will be the signs and symptoms, and what will be the actual mechanism behind the sinuses. Okay. So, see here. See what will happen. Actually, in pathophysiology, very simple. Actually, in books, there is not written pathophysiology. Very less books are writing pathophysiology. Actually, pathophysiology is simple only. I told you there will be the first step. There will be what is called as etiological factor. Okay. What are the etiological factors? Etiological factors means what are the causative agents? I told you there are microbial, there are viruses. Suppose there are viruses, there are bacteria, there are fungi, or there is a nasal obstruction. There is a nasal obstruction by means of nasal polyp, or by means of nasal obstruction by means of nasal polyp, or by means of nasal septum deviation. So these are the etiological factors. What will happen? I will show you a diagrammatically. See here. Before I am going to show diagrammatically, you all can see these pages. 1 second. Because after that you can easily understand the main topic. Frontal sinus, internal sinus. These are the ethmoid sinuses, and these two are called as maxillary sinuses. What will happen in these? I am telling about the pathophysiology. See here. I told the normal function is they will produce mucus, but in less amount. Less amount mucus they will produce. I told everything of excess is bad. Whether it is a good thing also, if it is an excess, it is bad. What will happen when there is infection of these viruses, bacteria, fungi, or anything else? When there is infection, what will happen? Body has a normal mechanism. It will The nasal mechanism of body is inflammation. It will show the reaction towards any kind of pathogen, any kind of microorganism. That is called inflammation. What will happen in the inflammation? There will be, because there is an inside the sinuses, there will be a mucus coating. A layer that is called mucus coating. That mucus coating will produce mucus. What will happen? The mucus will, there is a compound that is called mucosa, and mucosa will produce mucus. The mucus secretion will occur in the sinuses. Okay. But I told you this occurs in the normal, very less sample. But when there is an infection, there will be an inflammation. When there is inflammation, in case of inflammation, what occurs? There will be high production of mucus. So increased production of mucus will be there. Okay. So mucus production will be increased. Mucus production will be increased. This is the first thing. Remember this thing. After that, one is there is increase in production of mucus. Another thing is in inflammation, there will be WBC. Suppose particularly microphils and neutrophils. The microphils and neutrophils will come out from the blood. They will come out from the blood and they will enter towards the sinuses. And inside the sinuses, I am explaining about the inflammatory process. What is mucus production? Another is macrophages. Neutrophils will enter towards the sinuses. What they will cause? They will form the pus-like structure because they will destroy. The cells which are inside the sinuses. Mostly the cells which will be destroyed may be the bone tissue, which are affected by the viruses, bacteria and the fungi. What will happen? There will be the production of pus. This pus production will be a later stage. But first stage will be what? Mucus production. That remember one thing. This mucus production, there are cells. Those are called as goblet cells. Goblet cells will be present here. They will produce these macrophages and neutrophils. These will also come and they will fight with the pathogen. These which viruses, whatever is their pathogen, whether it is virus, fungi or bacteria. When these will affect, one is mucus production, another is they will destroy those cells which are being affected. There will be production of pus. There will be high production of mucus. And these nasal cavities, see here, these are the nasal cavities. See, this is these are the sinuses. Sorry, these are the sinuses. See, when this sinus is accumulated by the mucus. Okay, here is another one sinus. Okay, this side you have seen. These are the frontal sinus. Then here will be another sinuses here. Here will be another sinuses, and at the maxillary part there will be another sinus. Okay, these all sinuses, they have the opening. This opening will enter at the nasal cavity. All the openings will they will open at the nasal cavity. So this all mucus, when there is excessive mucus, this mucus secretion will come out. There will be increase. Now you can itself say what will be the signs and symptoms. What will be the clinical manifestation? This is clear now. So when there is high production of mucus, when there is infection and inflammation, what will happen? This mucus will come through the nasal cavity. Okay, so now you can go to the signs and symptoms. What will be the signs and symptoms? See here, this is an excessive mucus. First I will tell the question now. I will give pen to the person who will tell me the one sign and symptom will be cough. You all know there is a natural mechanism whenever our respiratory tract is infected, there will be the production of there will be what? There will be a natural response that is called as cough. So anyone can tell me why there will be the coughing? If the infection is the sinusitis, if the infection is in the sinuses, why there is coughing? Coughing is a natural mechanism which will prevent from any kind of that irritation occurs in the respiratory tract. Our body has a natural mechanism that it will try to remove that, whether it is a pathogen medicine, whether it is a food particle or anything. Respiratory tract will try to remove that. The mechanism they are using is called as coughing. Okay. So why there is coughing? If there is infection in the sinuses, can anyone tell me? I will give the pen. Yeah, right. So you got it. See, I have not told him before him. He had given the answer by his own way. Right, answer is right. When there is excessive production of mucus, definitely whenever there is increased pressure, this mucus will come out. There are two ways. One is called as nose. It will come through nose, and there are chances that this mucus may come out. This mucus may go towards the oropharynx. From oropharynx, it will go towards the respiratory tract. So it will enter into respiratory tract. Okay. See here, one is respiratory tract, is nasal cavity, it will go. Another is there is oropharynx. From oropharynx, it will go towards the gastrointestinal tract. So where it will go towards the gastrointestinal tract, another thing is it will go towards the respiratory tract. What will body will try to do? This mucus, the body will try to remove this mucus back. This mucus will come back and come through the only nose, through nose only. For that purpose, there will be one symptom that's called coughing. Okay, so coughing, why cough? There is cough because there are chances this mucus may go towards the respiratory tract, it may go towards the gastrointestinal tract. Coughing occurs when it go towards the respiratory tract, mostly larynx, trachea. From trachea it may go towards the lungs also. So the body will try to remove it from the larynx itself. Okay, that is called coughing. Another is when there is mucus production, there will be excessive pressure. Okay, when there is excessive pressure, patient will feel what? Sinus pressure. Sinus, the pressure, patient will feel in the pressure in the fascial, that is we can say fascial pressure. So patient will feel the pressure within the cranium, within the fascial bones. So itself patient will think that there is some kind of pressure because of this mucus. One more thing is there, when there is pressure also, this is the pressure. Pain is already there, there will be pain. When there is increased pressure, there will be pain also. You all know the pain, remember why will be the pain? The pain will be at the fascial region, mostly at the periorbital region. At the periorbital region. Periorbital region means the region that surrounds the eyes. This cavity is called as orbital. This where the eyes are present, this cavity is called orbit. Periorbital means around the orbit. There may be the pain that is called periorbital pain. This periorbital pain is also found in case of sinusitis. One more thing is what will be the another sign? Can anyone tell me what will be the another sign? Another sign and symptom, another manifestation. Here. Swelling, yes, great. Swelling will be there. Okay, so swelling will be also there because there is inflammation. Swelling will be in the inflammation. In inflammation, there will be swelling also. There will be tenderness also. There are chances of tenderness. Okay, so there are chances of tenderness. So tenderness will be also there. Swelling will be there. Pain in the periorbital region, mostly at the fascial region. Anywhere there may be the pain. There will be the fascial pressure. There will be pressure inside the. There will be one more thing that I will tell complication. This is the fascial pressure will be there and coughing will be also there. Another symptom is you all know headache, fever, because fever will be there because there are microbial infection is there, whether viruses, fungi or viruses, bacteria or fungi. There is a natural mechanism body, it will try to increase the body temperature when there is any kind of pathogen entry. So that is fever are all know that, and headache will be also there. You all know it is related with the head, so headache is definitely there. So those are the common symptoms. These symptoms you have to remember why there is coughing, fascial pressure, why there is swelling, why there is tenderness, why there is pain. Okay, so this is the etiological factor. You can write here now these etiological in the pathophysiology. Okay, after, so that means this is what? This is the pathophysiology. So now I have included here signs and symptoms also. Already I have told here etiological factors also. Now what will happen? Now I will tell about the diagnosis. So how? Ma'am, you came 10 minutes late.
5 minutes only.
थोड़े only 5 minutes time.
जल्दी करो तो.
See, now I will tell about the diagnosis. So I will tell very simple diagnosis. Diagnosis will be simple. One is called as sinus endoscopy. Remember, in sinus endoscopy, what will happen? Sinus endoscopy means simple. Endoscope will be inserted through the nasopharynx. Then in endoscope there will be a camera also. That camera will show virus swelling, virus tenderness. The swelling will be the inflammation can be easily seen through the endoscope. So that is called a sinus endoscopy. Okay. Another will be in some cases because we know there is a bacterial infection, there is a microbial infection. We can do the culture. So culture is another thing we can use. Culture means we will take the sample and we will see which organism is responsible for the sinusitis. Then after the sinus endoscopy culture, we can do one more thing. Okay, sinus culture. What can we do? Another, can anyone tell me any more diagnosis we can do? What? No, WBC. There is inflammation. There will be WBC count will be also. There will be increase in WBC count will be also affected. But we are saying mostly here sinus endoscopy and culture will be the main thing that we will do here. After the diagnosis, what will be there? That is management. In management, there will be two things. One is called medical management. Another is called as surgical management. And another management for we people that is called as nursing management. Okay. One is called as non-pharmacological. I will say definitely directly medical management. Medical management, what we will give. Now, from this part, it is not. If I not say also, you can tell yourself what will be the medical management. We all know antibiotics will be there because there is a bacterial microbial infection. Antibiotics we will give. What antibody you can give? Suppose amoxicillin. Okay. Another thing is we can give what? Decongestants. Decongestant means here will be the congestion within the sinuses. So decongestant, which decongestant we can give? Okay. Quatrimazole. Okay. There will be, we can give nasal sprays. Okay. Nasal sprays. These antibodies. We can give steroids. What steroid we can give? Suppose one steroid is there, that is called a oral prednisolone. We can give oral prednisolone. What will be the prednisolone? What will be the what will do prednisolone? What prednisolone will do? Remember, it is an steroid. It will prevent from inflammation. It will try to reduce the inflammation within the nasal cavity. So that is called as prednisolone. So prednisolone is a steroid. After that, decongestant, prednisolone, and antibodies. Anything more we can give? We can do itself. If we see the nursing management, what can be done in the nursing management? In nursing management, we can give simply there will be we can give warm compress. Warm compress, why we will give? There is production of mucus. The mucus will become hard. So in order to mobilize the mucus within the sinuses, we can give the warm wash. We can tell the patient go for the hot bath. Okay. So warm compress, hot bath we can do. Hot bath can be asked for the patient to do. That is the nurses, what nurses can do. Okay. Anything more? We can give the same collar or collar cushion. Why we give same collar or collar cushion? If anyone can stand, pen will be given to that. What? To improve it? Yeah, if you improve the breathing, that is good. But mostly, I will tell once more, I will explain. We are giving the same collar or collar cushion mostly during the night. Why? We are asking the patient to sleep. What?
Patients will ask to breathing at night time. We don't have.
Answer is somewhat vague. Anyone can tell me? So you are saying we will mobilize the mucus. Okay, that is also I didn't understand what I was saying. So there will be in the same color cushion the mucus will be produced. So when the patient is on the same color cushion, we know there is a gravity. The gravity will try to remove the mucus within the sinuses. So that is called a color of same color. Which is a thermal. This is an nurses management. After nurses management, anything is remaining here. Surgical management. So surgical management, what is in the surgical management? Remember, I will tell in surgical management very simple. What is 1 second. There is a one term that is called FESS. What is this? Anyone tell me?
Yes.
See, this is called as functional endoscopic sinus surgery. Functional endoscopic sinus surgery. So what will happen in functional endoscopic sinus surgery? I was having one animation in the laptop also, but the thing is time is very less. So I will tell here in very simple terms. You can see in your mobile phones also. In functional endoscopic sinus surgery, we are putting the endoscope here also. The endoscope is having a camera. The camera will be inserted through the nasopharynx. After that, there will be one more option, that is surgical option. If there is any kind of obstruction, we can remove that tissue at the sinus if there is any kind of obstruction, or if there is no obstruction, we can dilate the opening at the sinuses so that the mucus which is there can be removed easily. Or today they are doing one more, that is called balloon endoscopic sinus surgery. In the balloon will be inserted that will compress the borders so that the mucus which is inside the sinus will be removed out. That is another thing in case of functional endoscopic sinus surgery. This is the surgery that they are doing. One more is that is called as frontal sinectomy. That is called frontal sinotomy. Sinotomy is opening. They will open just at the frontal sinus. If there is, remember these surgical management for those patients who are suffering from chronic sinusitis. Because not for acute sinusitis, those who cannot be treated by means of medications, by means of medical or pharmacological management. For those patients, we will go for the permanent method, that is called surgery. That surgery is FESS, functional endoscopic sinus surgery. Okay, this is the main thing. And anything more? Okay, I hope I have told everything. So this was all about the sinusitis. So once more I will tell the same. I will repeat everything. So today what I have told the definition of sinusitis, what is sinusitis. Then after the sinusitis, I have told about the pathophysiology. The pathophysiology of the sinus. In pathophysiology, you can understand there is what is the etiological factor, what are the causes, and what will happen by these all types of because of these all types of etiological factors. What will happen? And after that, I told that what will happen. So after the etiological factors, you can see the signs and symptoms here. What will be the clinical manifestation there? After clinical manifestation, I told how we can diagnose the sinusitis. And in the sinusoid diagnosis, because I have told there was lot of content there in the brain, but I am taking only the main content only. I am not telling everything because time is not here. So after that, there will be the management. After diagnosis, there will be management. Management may be by means of medical management, or it may be the surgical management. Medical management, we are given to those patients who are suffering from subacute or chronic, because there are three types of three types of what sinusitis. One is called as acute, subacute, and chronic. Acute means it will the sinusitis which is only up to some weeks, mostly 4 weeks. And if it is a subacute, it will be 4 weeks to 3 months. If it is a chronic sinusitis, then it will be more than 3 months. So for chronic sinusitis, we will do what? We will do surgery that is called as functional endoscopic sinus surgery. So this is the last option. Okay, thank you so much.